Garcia, well done.
Get up!
Flores in that defensive position right now. Garcia came out smoking.
Coco, back up to the cage! Back up to the cage!
Flores just doesn't have the opportunity to get up yet.
Pull up the cage, Coco! Pull up the cage!
I don't know what giving up feels like.
Feet on hips! Feet on hips, Coco!
Nothing can compare to death, and I was fighting death. All right. Childhood shit.
Yeah. When did the struggles start for you?
My parents got a divorce when I was 4 years old. I didn't have much growing up as far as money, opportunities to train. I didn't do any sports in school.
Hey, Chris.
My parents struggled with narcotics and alcohol pretty much my whole life. My dad went to jail when I think I was 17. You know, there was a lot of moments where I just felt like a lot of kids feel, like life is happening to them and not anybody else. You know, we think that we're getting picked on by life. I ended up jumping into homeschool when I was in middle school, and that's when I found my love for fighting. At first, I was doing it in a negative way. I was doing it at school. I was doing it on the streets, mostly to defend myself. Then I realized that there's a sport. There was a career I could make out of this. All the things that I've been through, MMA has been the strength that I needed. My mother was my support system. She was my biggest fan. I wanted to provide her with the things that she didn't have, and I wanted to pay her back for all the work she put into me and my brother. And I was, I think, a month out of my first ever amateur fight, and she got diagnosed with cancer. So I pulled out of the fight, and I basically spent the next 6 months, and I watched her fight for the biggest fight you can fight for, which is the fight of your life. She ended up dying 6 months later, and that's when I stepped into the cage finally, and I ended up going undefeated my first year in MMA.
Fighting out of the blue corner, put your hands together for Chris Cocores!
I was ranked in the top 10 amateur fighters in the Western region.
With the left and the right.
Flores has a lot to fight for. His mom died about 6 years ago from cancer. He fights for her, moved here from Lake Tahoe.
I was gonna fight one more time, and then I was gonna go pro. I was gonna start making money and making a real career out of this after 8 years of challenges.
Round 3, here we go. Chris with a couple of right hands, another left.
I was in tip-top shape. I mean, this was gonna be the biggest fight of my life, and I was ready to go. But sometimes, life has other plans.
Calling on request of your son, Chris Cocores. I'm a social worker at Loma Linda University Medical Center.
Head-on crashed 80 miles an hour. You're not supposed to survive something like that. And I basically crawled my way out of the car, crawled to the side of the road, and just hung on to the inches that I had left of my life. And I just started focusing on my breathing. And I could feel my body kind of fading out. And then I would just have to tell myself, like, keep going, dude. You know, you might be able to make it through this.